Hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of Chomping at the Bit. Now, gotta talk about game one. I did my last episode on the series and the preview, gave you the keys and everything to look for that would kind of tip the balance of this series one way or the other. Game one happened, and I feel like the keys I gave you were on full display. So we're gonna start with the I guess the elephant in the room. The Celtics did not shoot well. You know, whether it was rust from days being off, whatever. I'm not gonna make excuses because I couldn't tell you, but it was not a great performance for the Celtics in Game One. So you obviously have to give the Knicks credit for taking advantage of that, overcoming the 20-point deficit. Uh, you know, not necessarily getting burnt out or down when they kind of gave up their chance to win in the regulation, where Brunson had a shot in the lane over the outstretched hand of Al Horford that he missed. They were able to defend the last couple of seconds against the Celtics and then win it in overtime, outscoring the Celtics 8-5. So Celtics find themselves down 1-0 in the series. But you have to look at it this way. For the Knicks, like I said, the things to look for. Josh Hart had to be disruptive. He was. He scored 14, uh, had 11 rebounds, 3 assists, but more importantly, I think late in the game, he had a few deflections and offensive rebounds that were key. So that was one of the keys I gave you. That came true. I told you that OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges had to be factors on both ends of the floor. Halfway right on that one. Because Anunoby was the team's leading scorer along with Brunson, scoring 29 apiece. So Anunoby showed up. I think defensively he was pretty good. Bridges still has an issue on the offensive end. He did hit a big three late, so you can kind of overlook the overall offensive performance. And when needed, he did hit was it like a big three in the corner in overtime. So partially right on that one. The making Brunson and Cat work on both ends that the Celtics needed to do. Just kind of. I think they made them work. Problem was their shots weren't going down, so it kind of negated it. I also said the Celtics needed to get Porzingis more involved. Porzingis left the game early with an illness. Later found out that this is the illness that he's been dealing with since, what was it, March? I have no idea what this illness is, but it's kind of crazy that it's still affecting him now, a few months later. So, looks like Porzingis will be fine for game two. That's well and good. They will need him because the keys that I gave you will ring true in every game of the series. So, for the Celtics, I guess for the Knicks as well, can they bank on the fact that the Celtics shot 35% from the field, 25% from three? Probably not. And mind you, with all of that, Celtics lost by 3 in overtime. So I know a lot of people were panicking after the game. I'm not. I can't. One, not that deep. But two, this is probably the perfect scenario for the Knicks, and they won by 3 in overtime. You figure most nights the Celtics only shoot 25% from 3. They're getting blown out by some team. Especially if you're a top 4 seed in the East, should be a good team. Celtics should have been blown out, but didn't happen. So that's why I still feel really good about this series for the Celtics. I think what the Celtics probably have to understand from last night is it's not going to be easy, which they already know. But I think for Tatum, Brown, I think sometimes they let Cat off the hook. I think they really have to hammer that mismatch because Cat was in foul trouble a lot of the time, but then once he got the four, it seemed like they didn't necessarily attack him as much, or you know, Cat didn't do anything excessively to earn fifth and a sixth foul. Because look, this series is going to be very, very physical defensively because both teams kind of play that way, which is perfectly fine. Like playoff basketball, that's what it should be. Nothing excessive, obviously, but well within reason. This will probably be what a lot of the games will look like when you're watching. The score, not necessarily, because like I said, if the Knicks can get three more games of the Celtics shooting like this, more power to them. They would deserve to win. I highly doubt that. I fully expect to see a better Tatum in game two. I think we'll get a better Jalen Brown game two as well. Jalen Brown did have 23, 7 and 5, 7 for 20, but the one from 10 from three, I think you'll see an improvement upon. Tatum, 23, he still had 16 rebounds, which, once again, his rebounding gets glossed over. Yes, the shooting wasn't there. I get it. He was 7 for 23, 4 for 15 from three. I completely get that. I would expect one, the 3-point attempts, 15, to come down for Tatum. I don't think he'll take that many in game two because he'll obviously Missoula will probably hammer that there's probably opportunities for him to get to the hoop, settle for the three. But hey, one game. Now, Wednesday night obviously will be interesting to see how both teams attack that game and start that game. Because the Knicks could rest on their laurels and think, hey, we got the game in Boston. We're not gonna be too mad if we lose game two. Or do they come out and go, got one, let's try sweeping in Boston and go from there. I know in the video I did the whole Shannon Sharp thing and did Celtics in 5, but in reality, the bracket I submitted for the NBA bracket challenge, I did put the Celtics in 6. I did that as the little joke on Shannon Sharp. So I had already planned for the Knicks to get 2 games in this series. I wasn't planning on a game 1, but I thought it might have been like they would split Boston, split New York, probably, and then the Celtics get the last 2. Something like that. Or like the Celtics will go up 3-1, Knicks get like a game 5, and then game 6, something like that. But so kind of on pace for my prediction on the series. But like I said, a few things will have to improve for the Celtics, obviously. Like I said, Tatum, want to see the 3-point attempts come down. Production-wise, fine. Like if you want to be 25 to 28 a game, 14, 15 rebounds a game, I will take that any day. I've expect Brown to shoot better. Porzingis, they do have to get him going. Hopefully, whatever this illness is, he can get over it and be done with it. White, up and down kind of game. He took 16 threes, only made 5. So I think with Derek White also, the 3-point attempts might still be there because I think a good amount of them were actually open. He just missed them. I think he'll make a couple more. But what I also want to see, Hauser, how's he doing? Because he came into the game once Porzingis kind of went out with the illness. He didn't last long because he was in there for a few minutes. He ended up rolling his ankle on the contested 3 with Anunoby that led to the foul. So I feel like if Porzingis is back, we probably don't see much of Hauser anyway. But but that's besides the point. Horford, 7 and 7. He missed some threes that he normally knocks down, especially the ones in the corner. I would expect to see, a better showing from him on those shots as well. He was 1 for 5 from 3. Pritchard 13 off the bench, like you'll take that. So I think the main thing to look for is Tatum and Brown being more efficient with their offensive output. And I think if they're 25% more efficient than what they were in game one, the Celtics are winning these games easily. I do think for the Knicks, what you got from them is probably the best you will get. If Anunoby going to drop 29 a game, you shake his hand and you move on. Highly doubt that, because especially against the Celtics, he's kind of struggled offensively. So this might have been the blip on the radar for him. Brunson, I feel like you'll get mainly that from Brunson, so I'm not too worried there. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's just struggled against the Celtics anyway, so 14 and 13 from him may be what it looks like. I think he led the league in fouls anyway, so the foul trouble will probably be something that's consistent in this series. Even Hart with 14, that seems like a little high for him. And then Bridges with 8. I just think that's what Bridges is at this point. McBride came off the bench at 11. Now, Miles Robinson, the big man, like, I know a lot of Knicks fans were talking about, Robinson's going to be this difference. He just doesn't look like he's moving well. So I'm not even factoring him much in this in terms of what the Celtics need to be worried about. I think it's just the game one. Celtics, slow start, didn't bring their A game, and they lost by 3 in overtime. I'm not going to panic. I'm not doing that. So I fully expect to see a better performance from the Celtics game 2. Now, whether you do or not, let me know down in the comments. Also, there'll be a link to my Discord for the channel. Feel free to join it, where you get more sports talk from me when, obviously, I'm not doing these videos, or live, I should say, because when I'm doing the videos, you can't interact with me anyway. But if I'm not live, I will be in there during the game talking. So if you want kind of the watch-long experience, join the Discord. Let's have some fun. All I say is it's got to be respectful. That's all I want. But we can have a lot of fun in there. I'm kind of mad I didn't get to do a watch-along for game 1. I just was tired. Game 2 might be a struggle for me to do. I can maybe do game 2. So game 2 is a Wednesday night. Yeah, I can probably do a watch along for that, hopefully. So that would be the next chance I will have to go live, so that we could have some interaction during the game. Yeah, we'll see. Like, if you, subscribe to the YouTube channel, if I plan on doing one, I'll put a post up, let you know what time I'll go live, everything like that. If not, I will be in Discord during the game. So greatly appreciate all of you. Like I said, leave a comment, your thoughts on game 1. Let's have a conversation down there. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate you as well. So once again, Celtics lose game 1, 108-105 to the Knicks. My worry level, 2%. I'm not worried. So that's me. You let me know. But appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully I'll see you Wednesday. If not, I'll see you in the Discord on Wednesday. But you be safe. God bless. I'm out of here. All right. Bye.